Welcome into the vault. It is officially week 2 of this 2023 NFL regular season. And Sarah, you know what that means. It's Monday morning. But it ain't just any Monday morning. We're officially prepared to launch. That's right. Inside the Vault with Ravens linebacker Roquan Smith, powered by Cybertech, is on deck. Just a matter of moments away from bringing in the game's greatest off-ball linebacker. That's what you said in our teaser video. I said one of. You said the. Thank you for correcting me. You ready to get this thing going?
Man, my energy is so off the chain. I don't care that it's Monday morning. Roquan, what a great way to start off the show. This guy ate, Sunday against the Houston Texans and CJ Stroud. You better believe at some point I'm going to have some energy in here because I'm just I just love this guy so much in the Ravens defense. And he is the perfect partner for us. Couldn't really ask for anything more. I'm amped up.
Yeah, and speaking of partnership, we would not be able to be doing this throughout the course of 10 weeks of the 18 total in this season without our friends at Cybertech. So we just wanted to tell you a little bit about them, our exclusive sponsor, a next-generation local recruiting, resourcing, and outsourcing firm. We're talking about a new way to acquire resources, whether you're in need of new hires, contingent staff, or seeking to outsource a business or technical function. Cybertech is the organization for you. If you're in need of resources and candidates and don't have the time to sift through dozens of resumes, Cybertech is a company that really understands your needs and presents candidates that are not in the open market within 48 hours. That's a 48-hour period. That's a promise. Cybertech has over 40 years of combined experience in working with some of the largest organizations in the Baltimore area and nationally. So we ask you, consider, you'll get a chance to meet me, Sarah, the Cybertech team virtually for an introduction by scanning the QR code that we'll have in the coming weeks. So for right now, go visit the email in the description of this video below, description of the show notes if you're on the audio only side of things, and send an email to the one that we have provided there for more information. And like we said, we just wanted to say thank you to Cybertech for believing in what we're building here in Baltimore. And I think with that, partner, let's get things going. All right, without further ado, let's bring in the man himself. Welcome back inside the vault. We can say back because we caught up with you several months ago during the draft, Roquan. And I speak for Sarah when I say this and much of Ravens Flock Nation. We're just thrilled to have you back. And let's launch this thing. And what a way to launch it to what you did on the field yesterday. I just wanted to read your box line real quick. 16 total tackles, 8 of which were solo, a sack, 2 tackles for loss, and a quarterback hit. So what a way to start out your year. How do you evaluate opening weekend from your perspective?
That was an amazing feeling, man, just to get back out there in the bank in front of the best fans in the league and go out there with my brothers, man. It was an amazing feeling and get the dub. So it was definitely pretty sweet. A lot of great things we did out there, but obviously a lot of good things a lot of other things that we can improve on as well.
That's bound to happen when you guys, take the preseason and protect yourselves, all of that. I think all of the Ravens fans were expecting some rust. Roquan, can you take us in? Obviously, the most important thing is that you get a win. You can't take that for granted. Can you take us into kind of the post-game locker room, knowing that you got the win, you're coming off a high in week 1, and at the same time, you've lost, J.K. Dobbins, injuries to 4 other guys. How was the locker room handling the win and all those injuries at the same time?
Yeah, it's definitely tough when you have any of your guys, fallen soldiers in a sense, that go down. It sucks. And, we're always thinking of those guys because we know how much those guys put in and week out. So it's definitely a tough task when you lose a guy like JK and not sure about the other guys, what's going on with those guys. But it's tough. But it was a great team win, and all we can do is just build on from it and just have to have the mindset of whoever is up next just have to step up because it sucks. But at the end of the day, there's still going to be a game next week.
How about your running mate? You talked about it all off season long, how fired up you were about partnering him with him, right, for a full season, and 27 combined tackles, 2 sacks. You guys are flying all over the field. He seems as if he's more locked in than ever before.
Absolutely, man. I'm so proud of that guy, PQ, man. Just the way he's been working this off season, well before we got to like OTAs, and then throughout training camp, day in and day out, getting some really good work versus our offense, and just knowing his mindset of like how bad he wants to be great and want to be like one of the best backers in the league. So I have a great deal of respect for PQ, and man, if I feel as we keep things going, it's going to be pretty special. And I know if we don't take anything for granted, not get complacent, the sky's the limit for the both of us.
Hey, Roquan, it started, I know you're not spending too much time online, so we had to bring up this photo of Kobe and Shaq, okay? Like one of the best duos all time in the NBA. Fans started on Twitter last night comparing you and PQ to Kobe and Shaq. I feel like you're Shaq, okay? And I feel like PQ is Kobe. How do you feel about this comparison?
Hey, anytime you get compared to two legends like that, man, that's an amazing feeling. And yeah, man, to just be acknowledged in that sentence of like just that pedigree of those two guys, man. But I think, man, we are. I think we are. Well, not so more so think. I know we are. When we're at our best, we're the two best. We're the best duo in the league, and I'm confident in saying that. And I'll say that week in and week out.
Well, it's true. You're speaking truth. I just got one more question about PQ. Something that really struck me yesterday, Roquan, was in the post-game pressers. And PQ started talking about JK, and he got emotional. And I tweeted out, like, everybody should want a coworker like Patrick Queen. When he just puts his heart out on his sleeve and he like cares so much about his teammates. Do you get the same feeling from him that he just is like this teammate that would, give everything for you?
Absolutely, man. That guy, like, he cares about the guys that he goes to war with day in and day out. And then we all feel for JK, just everything he's been through injury-wise, just knowing when he's healthy, he's a one-man wrecking shop. And, like, just for him to have the wrong end of the stick multiple times, it sucks, man. And, it's a very unforgiving game. And, you can't take anything for granted. And I know how close PQ and JK are, sitting next to each other in team meetings. And I'm right there with those guys. So I hear them talking, joking day in and day out. So it definitely sucks. Mm-hmm. And when you lose a guy like that, a guy who plays his heart out day in and day out. And, man, I got a lot of respect for JK and PQ as well, and just the way he go about with his teammates and how much he care. He has a give a factor. I didn't use the other word, but yeah.
Yeah, Ro, there was just so many mixed emotions too, right? Because on the flip side, you have guys like Zay Flowers making his rookie debut, bursting onto the scene. You got Odell Beckham Jr. for the first time in 574 days or something along those lines, making his return to the NFL. So it really was just this whirlwind of emotions, I would imagine, especially internally. But those two guys, let's begin with Zay. There was a big question marks, I guess, in terms of whether or not the seamless transition that he made from college to preseason football, being that there's not a ton of starters out there, would that happen as well for regular season football? So far, so good. Were you surprised whatsoever?
Absolutely not, man. The moves and the things that guy were doing throughout camp, day in and day out, I'm just like, man, this guy's gonna be special. Like a little controller. Like I thought I was playing a video game, R2, R1, up, down, different things like that. Because when he gets the ball, man, he's just so elusive. Can stop on a dime. Haven't really seen many guys like that throughout the league. So I'm just excited for him to keep learning, keep growing, and I feel like when he do, the sky's gonna be the limit for him. And I know Lamar and Monk gonna find ways to get him to rock. And then with OBJ, man, very happy to see him back out there. I know it's been a whirlwind for him. Haven't been out there and had his deal in the Super Bowl. So I know he was eager to get back out there and play. And I know it was very emotional for him as well. Just all the lead up to it, people saying he's lost this, lost that, and just to go out and show like he still has it. And I've seen it week in and week out throughout training camp. So I'm just excited for him to put on a show week in and week out as he get more comfortable and the year continues to roll.
All right, so Roquan, here's what I want to know. I want to know what's going on in your mind when the Texans decide to go for it on fourth down. The first time, right, it was after you had already forced the punt. There's a, kicker running into the kicker penalty. then they're like, all right, we're going to go for it on 4th and 1. In my mind, I'll tell you what's going on in my mind. This is not a smart decision because Roquan and PQ look like they want to eat. So PQ comes in, gets the sack, and then a little bit later, they try the 4th down again. They try to misdirection. You were not fooled. You came and blew it up on Pierce. In your mind, what are you thinking when it's like, oh, okay, you want to go 4th down on us? Well, let's see what's going to happen.
Absolutely, and that's something from Coach Mike, man. We prize ourselves, and we want to be in those tough positions as a defense because that's what truly reveals who you are in those type moments. And, man, yeah, when you think about it in those situations, you got to think 4th and 1. When the game is on the line, you got to think players, not plays. So when I'm looking at it from that perspective, I knew they was going to want to get the ball in that guy's hand, number 31, some way, some form, and sure enough, Lil tried to do a little plunge and things of like that, plunge action, things of that nature. But I knew 31 was getting that ball, so I was like, by any means, I need to make my way into that backfield.
You certainly did. I'm telling you, you just the phrase flying around. I feel like you're just the epitome of that. You never ever stop. And so we wanted to get to some fan questions. We'll get to that before we close, but a couple of them came in about just your conditioning, your pregame habits, your routine, your nutrition. Is there anything out of the ordinary that you want to share in terms of what you do to get yourself right pregame?
Honestly, I don't really do too much to get myself right pregame. It's just a lot of natural energy, and then sometimes I'll maybe have like a little caffeine or something like that to kind of maybe take me over the top a little bit. But normally it's just natural and just my love for the game and just my love for being out there with my teammates because it's truly an honor to be out here. And I just always remind myself of how blessed I am to be in this position I'm in and how many people would die to be in this position. And pregame meal-wise, there's not much I eat. In the morning time, there's just a smoothie and then an omelet. And that's about it. Then I'm just hydrating up.
What about after?
After the game, whatever they're serving after the team, so whatever Sarah, the dietitian, has for us guys, I normally eat it up and then take it on home and devour it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Bobby, you know something about caffeine on game day. We won't get into that.
Long weekend, bro. I had Red Bulls rolling during a post-game show yesterday, and I think I just ended up I had to officiate a wedding back home in New York on Saturday, and I woke up at 4 yesterday to make sure I was outside the bank for a pregame show by 11. So needless to say, yeah, I was wired during the post-game show.
You were ready to get on the field yourself. That is for sure. Roquan, so obviously with Chuck Clark going to the Jets, you have taken over the green dot, which I'm sure this is not new to you. But I will say, having not really played many of the starters in the preseason, I felt like on defense, the communication was on point. I didn't feel like there were too many blown assignments, anything like that. When you have the green dot, obviously you're getting everybody in the right place. Are you at the point in your career where, for the most part, you feel like what's going to happen before it does?
Absolutely. Obviously there's going to be certain things here and there, just offensive-minded coaches or just coaches in general. They're smart, just like defensive players are smart. So they definitely can get you with certain things. But I feel like with the preparation throughout the week and the reminders from Mike and just my knowledge of the game, I feel like that puts me in a position and knowing that out of certain things, there's probably only going to be, and I just simplify the game. There's only one or two things they can do. They can only run or throw it. But when I take a step forward past that, it's more so okay, out of this formation, okay, what does this team like to do? And knowing the route concepts that they like to do from that formation and knowing the runs that they like to do. And having the green dot, it's a tremendous honor for me, just being able to lead the guys, knowing that there's a lot of pressure on you to make sure you echo the calls throughout to the defense, making sure everyone's on the same page, because basically you're the DC on the field. I'm getting it from Coach Mike, and then basically it's my job to relay it to the rest of the defense with the help of other guys as well. So it's a tremendous honor, and I don't take it for granted, and I'm very proud of it.
Ro, shifting gears to week 2, formidable foe, certainly in the Cincinnati Bengals. 1, is it personal from a year ago based on the playoff loss? 2, is it personal with Jamar Was that bump of yours that you gave him, was that a type of thing that you're trying to send him a message? He talks a lot, as you probably already know, and just your overall thoughts going into week 2.
Yeah, man, I'm very excited. And honestly, every game is personal for me. I play every game to the end of the whistle, and I feel like more so I'm just like a train on the track. You get him away, I'm still going. I'm not stopping for anything. So if he happened to be there, same thing will happen. And I'm just focused on beating the Cincinnati Bengals this week. And, of course, it's personal just like any other game. So I'm excited to get out there and go to war with my brothers and go over there to Cincinnati and get the job done.
Roquan, I cannot express enough. This Bengals rivalry isn't quite hitting the Steelers one in terms of fan bases and their, hatred, for one another. Although Bengals are now, the bigger, challenge these days with coming off winning the North and all of that. I got to tell you, we need you to silence those talkers over there for us, Roquan. We just need some sort of sign that was for Ravens Nation, that was for Ravens flock, because I can tell you they are so annoyed by Jamar Chase right now. We just need one play from you that just makes us feel better about, trying to silence them and all their talk.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to get over there and we do take our defense on the road, and I feel like, man, we got a lot of really good guys, and we're going to go over there flying around. I seen the game last week. I watched part of the game that they played against Cleveland. But, hey, that was this week. I'm sure they're going to come out looking for revenge, looking for trying to – I don't know what they're going to try to do, because I'm sure last week wasn't to their standard what they would like to do. So I'm sure they'll come in there, come home pissed off, but we'll be in there pissed off as well. So 2 pissed off peoples. I guess we'll see what'll happen, but I like our chances.
That makes for some good entertainment. And the beauty of it is 1 week from today, we're going to have a chance, or at least we're scheduled to chat with you again. So we won't get into Cincy too much. Let's finish with 2 fan questions quickly. We want to be respectful of your time, but the fans are fired up about what you're doing here, because this is unique to non-traditional media, Ro. So we're thrilled that you're in on this. And let's begin with John. And he asks, what's your opinion on playing time during the preseason? Is it smart to get some game reps to help mentally prepare for the regular season, or better off not playing at all to play it safe and not get dinged up or injured?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I feel as every situation is different. Like myself, I played 3 snaps in the preseason my entire career. Personally, I don't feel like I need the preseason and able to get myself going. But I think the case could vary based off rookies, second-year guys who haven't really played much and going to be, dependent on a lot in the upcoming season, and they're going to have a major role just for them to be able to get out there, kind of get their nerves out the way and, get a little rust off if they haven't played in a while and things of that nature. So I think it varies case by case. And player by player, honestly.
Do you have any message for those that are kind of getting all over JK about his decision from the summer not to be involved and from a business standpoint?
Absolutely not. I don't have anything to say about that. At the end of the day, this is a game that we all love, but at the end of the day, it's a business as well, and each and every individual has to take care of what they have to take care of for their well-being and what they feel is best for them. But when we're all here together, we're a family. But at the end of the day, you have to take care of yourself at the end of the day, because if you don't, no one else will.
Sarah, we'll finish here, and I'm going to give you this one because I know you've been dying to know the answer, so go right ahead.
Oh, I don't know about that, but yeah, so Sarah Vardis says, wants us to ask about maybe training with Ray Lewis this offseason. That's a far ways away. I guess let me tweak that a little.
I think she meant
did you train last offseason with him?
Oh, no, I didn't train with him. I did meet with him a couple times with some film and things of that nature. And it was really great just being able to sit down with a guy of his caliber. Everyone knows all his accolades and the great things he did throughout his career. So it was definitely just being able to pick his mind a little bit, just get little nuggets and things of that nature. So have a great deal of respect for Ray and everything that he's done for the organization and things that he does out in the community as well, and for linebackers overall.
Well, it obviously worked because Roquan, Bobby put out your stats at the top of the show. Those 16 tackles are the most in a season opener in Ravens franchise history, just barely edging out Ray Lewis and his 14 tackles in 3 different openers. So, man, yeah, that is great company to be in, Roquan.
Absolutely. It's an honor.
All right. One show down, man. 9 more to go. And we just wanted to say thank you again for everything, for believing in what we're doing here in Baltimore, for your generosity, for your interest in this space, and obviously for what you're doing in Baltimore and beyond. We're actually looking forward to sharing more about what you're doing in the community as well. So, we'll talk offline about how we can do that, how we can collaborate and make sure this partnership is everything that we believe it can be. So have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week, brother.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much. Great talking with you.
Well, Sarah, if PQ is locked in, which I think we can all agree he looks like he's locked in, I think Ro might be like on warp speed. This dude is all business and then some, and you just get the sense like he is going to be on some sort of greatness tour this year because he's off to a heck of a start, and that was a great way to start our partnership.
Hold on here, Bobby. The last time I saw you talk about a greatness tour was J.K. Dobbins after his touchdown, and then we all know what happened there, so let's not.
Oh, man. I cannot believe that happened. And I just don't delete tweets. I think it's crazy to delete tweets. I think it's soft.
No.
But
You
that was
but I hear you on this. Yeah, Roquan is clearly all business, and as he should be. When we got him on the draft, that was kind of a fun celebratory night. It was before, a pick was made, this and that. Now he's like, I'm guessing where he was, and that you see the cinder block brick walls behind him. That's usually where a lot of players do interviews. It's oftentimes in the strength and conditioning coach's office, which overlooks the weight room. So that's oftentimes where a lot of guys do their interviews. And it wouldn't surprise me if he's already got a lift in. That he was delivering some hits. So when you deliver the hits, there's probably going to be some achy muscles and joints and things like that. So he got us in the middle of, the day off and all the things that he's trying to do. He was a man on a mission yesterday, and it felt like it was continuing this morning.
Yeah. Think about that turnaround too. Like, yeah, it's a 1 o'clock game that's over somewhere between 4 and 5, typically without overtime. But to his point, like, you still got to eat, you still got to recover, you still got to get back to Owings Mills or wherever you live.
He's not getting home until 7 or 8, that's for sure. And you want to go to bed, pretty quickly when you're getting up as early as these guys.
Yeah, and then you're turning around, and now Monday is an actual recovery day. I'm sure he's getting, massage, doing different, I don't know, treatment and recovery programs, I'm sure, just to kind of get ready for week 2. So, yeah, I was impressed. That's exactly what I expected, to be honest. Doesn't throw any kind of bulletin board material out there for Cincinnati, right? Like, he did say that week 2 is personal, but every game's personal. And so we're not going to run with, certainly don't want to run with it that Cincy's personal, right? Like, no, every game is personal for him. But at the same time, clearly, based on his comments, you could tell that last year is still very much, that January night is still very much ingrained in his mind.
No, that grin when you mentioned the Jamar Chase, bump, he just, had the little grin, had the little, he grinned. You go back and watch. I know you're going to edit this. There was definitely like a grin there, or just it was a smile. I don't know if you want to call it like, one of those evil grins or whatever, but he definitely smiled there. And, and he took it well. Like, I was like, Roquan, please silence him for us. Please silence him for us. And then give us a sign after you've done it, And, but, like you said, he kept it. There's no bulletin board material. He's not trying to do that. So probably my favorite moment is when we pulled up the Shaq and Kobe, picture. And like when I said that he's Shaq, he kind of laughs, but that really is perfect. Like, they're both big dudes, but like Roquan has got to be Shaq and PQ's Kobe. And Kobe always felt like was, just such an emotional player. And I feel like PQ is, you need a lot of emotion in all these, but I just feel like it's such the perfect analogy. And the fact that he laughed about it and was like, yeah, let's go, let's do this. And then he always says, he's like, I'm not going to shy away from it. We are the best duo. And it's like, well, why would you shy away? Because it's the truth. Like, It is what it is. It is by far the best duo. 27 tackles yesterday, high leverage situations where they're getting big plays. Like, yeah, they're the heart and soul of this defense and would be the heart and soul of any defense if you put them on any defense out there.
Right. Yeah. No, that was funny. I actually didn't know you had that photo. I didn't even see. Yesterday was such a whirlwind. I didn't even see the comparisons of the Shaq and Kobe thing. What do you think the height difference is between Roe and Shaq? Maybe like over a foot?
Yeah.
Probably for me, it's like 2 feet.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have to look that up.
You know? Amazing. But yeah, it's cool to see that he gasses up PQ as much as he does, because I'm sure that resonates with Pat. I mean, this guy is going into a big year. We know that he's in the final year of his rookie deal. And just to see the relationship that those two have, it doesn't seem like there's any kind of animosity whatsoever. At least look, Roquan got, in a lot of ways, the Ravens are going to be it's going to be hard pressed to pay Patrick in Baltimore. We got to see what ends up happening there. And then they drafted Trenton Simpson. Well, it's tough because of the $100 million contract extension that Roquan received. But yet it doesn't seem like there's anything more than just a good working relationship between the two of them, which is cool.
You were correct. It's exactly 1 foot. Shaq is 7'1", Roquan is 6'1". So there's a big difference there. I think though, I'm trying to remember what interview it was from. It was clear that the Ravens were in negotiations with Patrick. Like, it was from Jeff Zrebeck's story. Remember when Jeff was talking about, like, did a big cover story of his offseason, and he was saying that PQ was not angry about the draft. PQ was not angry about Roquan getting extended. It was more that their contract discussions had broken off. And I was like, well, more than anything, what that tells me is that the Ravens do want him back. Like, they could not enter into these negotiations. So whether they get it done or not, or wherever they find, I mean, PQ, if he plays all 17 games like he did yesterday, there's no way, you know what, for the Ravens to be able to keep him. Like, they can't pay top dollar. I mean, PQ, if he keeps going off, I mean, he could be like the next highest paid inside linebacker, right? Like, maybe he's looking for the Roquan Smith treatment, like what we just saw with the quarterbacks, where you just, incrementally beat out the next person. I mean, he was just off the charts. Both of them were on Sunday.
Like we mentioned at the top, we just wanted to mention that our exclusive sponsor, Cybertech, is the whole reason why this partnership exists. So thank you to Cybertech for bringing us inside the vault with Roquan Smith. They're a next-generation local recruiting, resourcing, and outsourcing firm. It's a new way to acquire resources, whether you're in need of new hires, contingent staff, or seeking to outsource a business or technical function. Cybertech is the organization for you. If you're in need of resources and candidates and don't have the time to sift through dozens of resumes, Cybertech is a company that really understands your needs and presents candidates that are not in the open market within 48 hours. Cybertech has over 40 years of combined experience in working with some of the largest organizations in the Baltimore area and nationally. So do yourself a favor. Check out what they're offering. Check out what they're about. We have all that information included in the show notes. You'll even have a chance, if you end up working with them, to meet with myself or Sarah virtually and the Cybertech team for an introduction. So again, you can send them an email that's also included in the show notes and find out more information by visiting the website that we have included at the top of the description in this video. So thanks to Cybertech. Anything else, partner, before we jump?
I don't think so, man. I'm waiting for John Harbaugh. We're obviously recording this Monday morning. We'll look forward to John Harbaugh's news about all these injured guys. We'll see. I feel like the news we got on Marcus Williams was actually pretty good. I'm seeing some of those online doctors predicting like a lower grade tear, which means he could only be out 2 to 3 weeks, but these are just guys talking online. We have no idea. The MRI is going to tell the story. We'll find out about Stanley and Linderbaum. That's what we're waiting for. So unless an agent decides to tell somebody in the media, we're going to have to wait till John Harbaugh at 2:30 later today. And even then, he'll be vague. He'll basically say whether it's serious or not, and that's about it.
Big happy birthday shout outs to Zay Flowers and Ed Reed. What a duo there. Both of those guys are celebrating a birthday today. So Ed Reed and Zay.
Some greatness going on today. Okay.
That is a duo right there for sure. So with that, again, thanks to our sponsor Cybertech. Thanks to Roquan Smith for officially launching the show with us here inside the vault. Next time that we're scheduled to speak with him is coming up 1 week from today on the 18th after the week 2 game against Cincy, like we mentioned, which should be a lot of fun. And again, we're just so thrilled to officially get this thing off the ground. It's been many months in the making. So as always, hit us up via email with feedback, negative, positive, in between, wherever you are on the show. We want to hear from you at BaltimoreRavensVault@gmail.com. Clips from this conversation will also be started to be shared on our new Twitter account at RavensVault, which is just the Vault on Twitter. We just launched that last week, so go check us out there. You can follow Sarah on Twitter at SG Ellison. I can be found across all platforms at Bobby Baltimore, and we will talk to you really coming up very shortly in Tuesday morning's Vault.